So let's do a crochet tutorial for these adorable little whales. These are a perfect beginner project, great to make into key rings, and there's no sewing involved except the eyes, and they work up really quickly. So let's begin, shall we? So for these cute little whales, we're going to be using some pastel sport baby weight yarn. This is a yarn weight of 2, but you can actually use any yarn weight that you like. With that, I happen to be using a 2mm crochet hook, but again, you can use any hook suitable for the yarn that you're using. And you're also going to need a pair of scissors and a yarn tapestry needle as well, and also some yarn scraps. You don't need this much yarn scraps, but just something to stuff your little whale at the end. Okay, so let's begin. So we're going to work 8 single crochet into a chain 4 loop. I actually use the magic circle for these ones, so you can alternate between magic circle, magic ring, chain 4 loop, whatever's easiest for you. But on camera, for beginners, I like to do the chain 4 method. So we'll create a little slip knot, and we're going to chain 4. So chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going to put our hook into our first chain, like so. We're going to bring the yarn through that first chain, and then we're going to put it straight through the loop on our hook to make a tiny little loop of chains. And into there, we're going to work 8 single crochet. I'm just going to do a little chain 1 to begin, just for a bit of leverage. And then we want to find the middle, so not the chain 1 hole, which looks bigger, but right in that center there, we're going to put our hook, bring the yarn through, and we're going to do a single crochet. So pull through 2. So this pattern's in US terminology, so in UK terms, these are going to be double crochets. But we want 8 single crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more, 6, just wrapping it around the chains, 7, and 1 more, 8. Okay, so we've got 8 single crochets in there, and if you've carried your tail end, you should be able to just pull that center hole in, or you can sew it closed if you want to. But what we're going to do is we're going to find that first single crochet, and we're going to slip stitch into there. So we're going to bring the yarn through that first single crochet and straight through the loop on our hook to do a slip stitch. Okay, so now we have 8 single crochet. We're going to move on to round 2. So for round 2, we're going to start off with a little chain 1. If you want to work continuously like a snail shell, you can also do that and use stitch markers, that's fine. I just like to join my rounds so I know where I am, and also makes a cleaner color change. But we're going to go straight back into that single crochet we just slip stitched into. Let's go back into there. And in there, we're going to do 2 single crochet. So we do 1 and another one. 2, so we got 2 in there, and we're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So 2 in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and 2 single crochet in each stitch around back to the beginning. So we end up with a stitch count of 16, so we're doubling up. Okay, so 2 in the next stitch as well. Okay. Okay, and when you get back to the beginning and check you've got a stitch count of 16, we're going to find that first single crochet and slip stitch into there. Whoops, the first single crochet, hook into there, bring the yarn through and through the loop on your hook to join the round. Okay, so now we have a stitch count of 16, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do 3 rounds of 1 single crochet, just 1 in each stitch around. So again, we're going to start off with a chain 1, go back into the same stitch you just slip stitched into, work a single crochet and just work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're keeping a stitch count of 16. We're going to do that for 3 rounds. So for rounds 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I shall do that and then I shall come back. So it's coming up to the end of the 3rd round. 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and you want it facing this way towards you. And again, we're going to slip stitch into our first single crochet to join the round. And then what we're going to do is just pop that tail end on the inside, all helps for stuffing. And okay, what we're going to do now is create the tail and the fins, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4. So this is going to be the back of our whale. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 4. And we're going to slip stitch in our 2nd chain along. So we don't count the loop on our hook. There's our 1st chain, there's our 2nd. So that 2nd one down, you want to slip stitch into there as neatly as you can. Then in the next chain, we're going to do a single crochet. Single crochet in there. Then we're going to chain 2 from there. So 1 and 2. And again, in the 2nd chain, 1, 2. The first one you did, we do a slip stitch. Slip stitch in there. And then find that chain where you worked the single crochet, that 3rd one along. I'm going to go back into there and work another single crochet. Okay, and then we've still got 1 little chain left at the beginning, and we're just going to slip stitch into there. And that's our little tail. So hopefully you can probably see it better on one of these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches on the main body, but we want to start in the same stitch as our previous slip stitch, so that very first one. Make sure you go in there and work a single crochet. And it's in the next 5, so that's our first one, 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5. Okay, so 5 stitches. Then we're going to work a little fin, and to do that we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, and in the 2nd chain, 1, 2, the one in the middle, we're going to do a slip stitch, crochet a slip stitch. And then in the first one, the last one, we're going to do a double crochet. So we're going to yarn over. So in UK terms, that's going to be a treble. Yarn over, go into that last chain and work 1 double crochet. So pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to find that last stitch we worked on the main body, number 5, and we want to go back into there and work a slip stitch. So make sure your yarn is to the left of your fin so you don't tangled mess. So go back into there and work a little slip stitch. You can skip that if that's a little bit too fiddly. It's not completely necessary. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches, the next 8. So next stitch 1, 2. This should take us around to the other side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 1 single crochet in the next 8, and we repeat the same steps for this fin. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3. In the middle chain, that second one along, we work a slip stitch. Then in the last chain, we work a double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, and then we should have 3 stitches remaining, so we just finish up with 1 single crochet in the last 3. So 1, oh, I didn't do the little slip stitch, did I? So you can see why I add the little slip stitch, because it actually creates a little gap. So after that double crochet, let's just go back. So after we've done our double crochet and our fin, we need to find that stitch on the main body that we had the last single crochet in, go back into there and work a little slip stitch. So yeah, it's easy to forget those. And then, like I said, we've got 3 stitches left, 1 single crochet in the last 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then we are back at the beginning. And what we want to do now is we want to find that first single crochet that we worked. So it's going to be there after our tail. So you're going to have to move all your tail out the way. And if you want, you can count back from your fin here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you know exactly where that little single crochet is. We're going to put our hook into there. We're going to bring the yarn through there. And we're going to do a slip stitch, but we need to make sure our tail is at the front. So bring that forward. And pulling your tension, we're going to just work that slip stitch that sits behind the tail. So hopefully that's not too fiddly. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to join the white yarn, a different colour. You can carry on with the same colour if you want to, but I like to add a little different colour underneath. So I'm going to grab some creamy white colour here. Okay, so we're going to take the white yarn and we're going to just yarn over, hold the other tail end and bring that through the loop on our hook, and holding that tail end, we're going to pull the green tail end. And keeping your hook in the loop, we're just going to put that all down. And we're going to cut the green because we've finished with the green. Just move that out the way. And we can tie these 2 tail ends together, keeping your hook in that loop, otherwise you'll lose your stitch. And just give that a little, falls out, typical. Just give it a little knot. Careful not to lose that loop, and tuck those tail ends on the inside. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to work 1 single crochet in each back loop around. So finding that first stitch we slip stitched into, normally we would go under 2 loops. You can't really see, but I'll show you on another stitch. Normally we go under 2 loops. We just want to work in the back loop, but we need to do it for that first stitch. So find that first stitch, that last one you just slip stitched into, and moving your little knot out of the way, try and find that little back loop just hiding here. And we're going to work 1 single crochet in there, like so. I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, in each back loop around. But if you want to just work into the stitch as normal, you can do that. I just do this to give more of a sort of 90-degree turn. So we're going to do that in the first 5. So that's 1, next back loop, 2, single crochet in the next back loop, 3, next back loop, 4, then the next back loop of that last single crochet, 5. Then we're up to our fin. So we want to skip the fin and skip that little slip stitch as well. Find that first single crochet, find the back loop like that, and work a single crochet in there. You might need to pull your tail ends a little bit, keeping that tiny little fin at the front. I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next 8 back loops. So that's 1, next back loop, 2, next back loop, 3, next back loop, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. just in the back loops. Okay, and then again we want to skip the fin and skip that tiny little slip stitch and find that next single crochet, but just work a single crochet into the back loop. Might need to pull your tension a bit, keeping that fin at the front. One single crochet in the last 3 back loops. That's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. But like I said, if you don't want to work into the back loops, just work into the stitches as normal, making sure to skip the fins and the tail. Okay, then we want to find our first single crochet and just slip stitch into there as normal. Okay, so hopefully you got something that looks like that. What we're going to do now is we are going to just single crochet 2 stitches together until we close it up. So I'm going to do the invisible decrease. Start off with a little chain 1, just for leverage. And for the invisible decrease, what we're going to do is this time, instead of going onto both loops, we're going to go onto just the front loop, like so. Then we're going to go straight over to the next stitch front loop. So we're just in those 2 front loops. Going to bring the yarn through those 2 front loops, then yarn over with a single crochet. And that single crochet is 2 stitches together, but creates a more invisible decrease, so there's less lumpy. But you can work normal decreases if you prefer. I'm going to do that all the way around, single crochet 2 stitches together until your stitch count goes back to 8. So that's the next 2. Single crochet the next 2 together. Okay, so when you get back to the beginning, hopefully it looks a little something like this. We're just going to slip stitch in that first decrease to join the round. Okay, and we're just working into the stitch as normal. Let's bring up a loop. We're going to cut our yarn. We're going to leave a little bit of a tail though. And we're just going to pull that loop through. And then we want to add a little bit of stuffing. So you can just grab some old yarn scraps or whatever you've got to hand. And we're going to just add a little bit of stuffing. Blue is probably not the best colour, but I like to use up what I have available. So we're just going to add some stuffing. Okay, so when it gets nearly full, I've probably got a little bit too much stuffing there. So remove that and push that down. And then we're going to take our yarn needle and thread that onto our thread on the yarn. And we're just going to sew, drawstring sew closed our little whales. So we're going to go into the stitch we just slip stitched into. And then we're going to come out from the inside through the next stitch and give it a little pull. I'm going to do that all the way around into the next stitch, out through the next stitch, again giving that a pull. And I definitely chose the wrong stuffing colour. In the next stitch and out through the next stitch until that hole gets smaller and smaller. Okay, so give that a nice pull and then flatten down the underneath of your little whale. And what we want to do is we're just going to sew to the middle. And then we're going to create his little water spout, which also acts as something to add to a keyring. So we're going to come right up to the top. Don't pull too tightly, but just a little bit. Then go back down through the top, out through the bottom. And what we want to do is we just want to leave a little loop. So I recommend putting in your hook to leave just a little loop. And making sure not to lose that loop, we're then going to just hide our tail end by sewing anywhere. Helps when the yarn is on the needle. Okay, let's try that again. Let's come out somewhere. Anywhere. One more time, keeping hold of that loop. That loop's probably safe now. And we'll just sew over one more time. Like that. And then we can cut down our tail end. And give it a little squish so the tail end is hidden on the inside. And there we go. That is our tiny little finished whale. So you just want to flatten out his little tail and fins, and all that's left to do now is to add some eyes. So each of my little whales has different eyes. I've got little knots used for this blue one, got little sort of smiley eyes for the purple one, and sleepy eyes for the little pink one. So you can absolutely mix and match. So I'm going to take a little bit of black yarn, short length, and I think I'll do a little winking one this time. So towards one end of the black yarn, I'm going to just do a knot and then knot it again. So the second knot is on top of the first knot. Okay, and get our yarn needle. And I think what I shall do is just work out where I put the eyes. It was about 2 rows up, 2 stitches over. So about here, and then I'm going to come out about here. Okay, so that knot catches. Okay, and get the other end. Go in the same area, and then come over here. So we've got a little knot here for a normal shaped basic eye there. And then I think what I'll do is I'll just get rid of this other tail end first. Let's move this out of the way. Just putting it to the back. Okay. Cut that down. Okay. So that's that tail end gone, and then we're going to create a little wink this side somehow. I don't know how. I think if we go over to the next stitch but come up somewhere in the middle above. Okay, and just before we close that, I'm going to just catch it. There we go. And then go back in here and then sew over somewhere. There we go. And we got a little winking, a little wing. It's actually higher up, so it looks a little bit higher up. So I'm gonna have to squish it around a little bit, even that out. And then just hide your last tail end. Okay, and there we go. It's a little bit lopsided, but he's got his little water spout and neatened off his tail ends. And there we go. That is our tiny little whale, which can go with all our other cute little whales. Perfect little keyring, perfect little gifts, just to add to craft stores and things like that. Just a little bit of fun. Great yarn scrap Friday project, even though it's not Friday. But I really hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you managed to follow along, and a huge thank you as always to our monthly subscribers for helping make these tutorials possible. And thank you guys for all your support on our previous videos about my broken ankle. Really appreciate that. So if you are interested in our monthly subscription, do check out the links below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, let me know if you like these types of tutorials, what you would like to see more on the channel, and I will see you soon for some more crochet crafting fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.